I am heading to a sip and stitch today.
Why do you craft?
Craft because I find it so relaxing.
I also love gifting. Gifting is a huge part of it.
You're not getting to that
I'm
point.
not getting to the next step. So that's why I went from crocheting to knitting, because crocheting was too easy. And I was like, what's next?
Initially, as I mentioned, it was out of necessity because it was cheaper, but now it's gift giving and mental health.
Why do I craft? Just because it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, keeps my hands busy.
All right.
We were recently on a trip and I went like 5 days without having a needle in my hand.
Right. Like you need something.
And I finally told my husband, I'm sorry, I'm opening the stitching. I don't care if we're out of the country, I'm opening the stitching.
I don't know why. I have become somewhat an introvert person. I used to be very extroverted. I didn't have issues talking to nobody, and I feel like after 2020, I guess the fear of being very close to people and plus like all the stressors that came from that made me a little bit introverted and like weird, like a weirdo talking to people. Like I feel like so awkward, and it's crazy to think that I had to force myself to get out of the house today because I already said that I was going to go. And I know going to a sip and stitch is good for me. Like I just know it's good for my soul to be around people that love to craft and to stitch and knit. But yeah, I'm struggling with that. It's a beautiful day today and I love beautiful days. I don't know, I'm going through like a phase right now, y'all. I'm going through, I don't know, like I should be grateful, you know, like I should be grateful for all the good things that are happening right now. I really don't have much going on, but I have like a lot of thoughts in my mind, like a lot of thoughts, a lot of ideas. I just wish that the ideas don't take so much time to actually get them out there in the world, in the YouTube world sometimes. Anyway, let's go to the sip and stitch. It's in a brewery, I believe in. We're heading there. Let's do this. I don't think I've ever been in this side of town. It's a cute little town around here. And oh, actually, yes, I have been. I have been here. Never mind. I just didn't recognize it. The crocheting process here, you know. Yeah. I don't know if you want to say hi. Do you mind? Oh, hi. Here too. I didn't come to you. So what are you up to, ma'am? Okay.
A lace shawl.
Oh. Wow, that's pretty. That's look at that. And are you following? Huh? What is it? It looks so lovely. They look like coasters.
Yeah. It's all better at the beach.
Oh, so I love the beach. I'm not ocean girl. I'm a beach girl.
Yeah, it's supposed to be, it's right now it's like only the first row, so but it's supposed to be like bubbles.
Oh,
Yeah. 7.
that's gonna be a very comfy blanket. Wow, that's a lot, Lucia.
Yes. Quaker alphabet.
Oh, the Quaker alphabet. Oh. I actually like La Di Da, and your fabric is just pretty too. Not too long to go. I have a question though. Do you think crafting is only for older people? I need to answer that question because I have to prove to my husband that that's not true. So.
Stand the proof. have a fiber night, and the amount of Denison students that come. Sometimes we'll have 10 or 15 Denison students come and bring their knitting and crochet projects.
All right.
And it's just wonderful to see young people crafting again.
Right. What inspired you to become a crafter?
I've always crafted. I did
Got it.
needlepoint. I did needlepoint and cross stitch for many years, and I developed a trimmer and can't hold a fine needle anymore. My mother also has that, so she taught me how to knit after I quit smoking.
Okay.
So that's what inspired me to become a knitter.
Oh, nice. That's very nice. Well, you can continue with
I feel like I've always been a crafter. Growing up, I would always buy like those kits at toy stores to like craft like a bracelet or like a, I don't know, something. So I've always had the crafting gene in me. But what pushed me to pull the trigger on crocheting and knitting, my TikTok algorithm was a huge part. And then another part was my husband, he loves watching sports, football, and I'm not a big sports person.
Right.
He wants me to sit on the couch with him to watch the sports, and I get so bored. And I'm like, I need something to do while I'm sitting on the couch.
Yeah, because you're not into sports, right?
Because I'm not into sports. So I just picked up crocheting at first as something to do on the couch while I'm there with him, and it just evolved. And I became hooked, and I became obsessed, like in debt obsessed.
Awesome.
So yeah.
Thank you so much.
I never thought of myself as a crafter. It was something out of necessity, because back in the day growing up, to make your own clothes was cheaper than buying. Nowadays you can get things cheaper. So my grandmother would always make something for all the grandkids, and then a lot of times at least one sweater a year. You just learned to knit, and if you wanted something, you kind of had to sew it, because I knew I could ask my mom for material, but I couldn't ask her to go shopping.
Right.
And then it's just evolved. My family was knitters. The only crocheting they did was around the knitting, so it would curl. But I wanted to expand on the crocheting. Then I found a tatted shuttle. My mother did not know how to tat. She said it was great-grandma's, but great-grandma passed away before. So, just teaching myself. That's usually out of books. Yeah, because I'm that old.
Do you want to answer the question?
Sure. What question?
What inspired you to become a crafter?
It was just inbred. From the time I was little, my grandmother, like I was telling them earlier, my grandmother had a ball of yarn and knitting needles and crochet hook that was right by in her buffet. And when we would go over, probably from the age of about 5 or 6, she would taught us to cast on. She taught us how to crochet, and so we would go over it, and that was just our activity at being at grandma's. So it just became second nature. And yeah. And then whenever, kind of like you, whenever I got older and was married, didn't have a whole lot of money, so you made something for somebody's wedding, like a nice sampler of that.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks.
How long have you been practicing this craft?
I've been practicing cross stitch and needlepoint since I was a teenager. Knitting is later for me. I've been knitting for 20 years.
20 years, okay.
I have been crocheting for a year and knitting for almost 5 months. But yeah, not enough experience yet.
Still working on it though.
I don't know if I want to answer that question. I was first taught to knit 63 years ago.
Wow.
And then off and
Incredible.
on, because I'm a tomboy. I can climb a tree too. But everything else was just discovering it and being amazed by it. And I think one of the most amazing things was being overseas and watching people do bobbin lace. I'm sure they were from Belgium. And I just remembered that. And since being here in Columbus and joining the Central Ohio Weavers Guild, I found someone, and I'm learning to finally do bobbin lace, which has been 2 or 3 years. I love it.
That's something that I'm actually interested in, the bobbing lace. That sounds very interesting to me.
If you come this upcoming Saturday, I'll introduce you to Dawn.
Okay, thank you.
I've been crafting probably 60 years.
60 years? Yeah, you're on the same
I hate to
time.
admit that, but yeah,
But that's
at least
wonderful, though.
60 years.
Like the knowledge that y'all have. It's just like, I wish I could take all the knowledge and put it in my brain.
Yeah, but how many of our kids actually want to do this?
My daughter taught her. I tried to
Yeah.
teach my daughter. She did it learned in high school or in college. She taught herself in high school. In college, she got together with a group. I think there is a group of people, like you said, that this is something you can pick up when you have free time, and from quarter to quarter, semester to semester, you don't know when you're going to have free time. So when she said people from Denison come to the group, it makes perfect sense.
Because there aren't that many crafting groups. You know, like I get together with a bunch of ladies from Pittsburgh to sit and cross stitch. That's a 3.5-hour drive.
Wow.
Because I know nobody here in Grove City where I
I
have
cross
lived.
stitch.
Yes.
We can meet up all of anytime. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree. All right. So next question is, were you formally trained or self-taught?
I was not formally trained. My mother taught me the basics. A lot I learned from YouTube. I did take lessons to learn how to knit socks.
Okay.
I found them very confusing, and taking a class to knit 2 at a time from the toe up, never changed.
Oh.
I guess I taught myself through YouTube, TikTok, Reddit, and that's about it. Just watching a bunch of videos, obsessing, going down the rabbit hole
Right.
nonstop for like 2 weeks straight, making a huge order at Michael's that I still have so much unopened yarn from.
Right.
And that's how I taught myself.
Hey, there's no guilt here.
My mother taught me knitting, which is my primary when I was young. But then I was overseas, and it was a requirement in 3rd and 4th grade for math, following graphs, that kind of thing. So,
That's interesting.
but other than that, to advance my skill, books, double check stuff on YouTube, and just doing it.
Thank you.
I was taught by my grandmother, who was probably taught by her mother. And then what I didn't, when I wanted to learn other specialty stitches, because like I said, I know have done this, but this is my love, is the cross stitch.
Right.
And so there were magazines back in the day that came out, Workbench, and there were specialty cross stitch magazines back in the day, Needlework and Country Crafts, that are no longer produced, any of them, and they would have stitch diagrams in the back of them. So I would sit and peruse those and go, okay, how do I do that? And I still do that today. So.
Thank you. All right. Why do you craft?
I craft because I find it so relaxing, and it's just become a normal part of my life. If I'm sitting still, I've either got knitting in my hands or I'm reading a book.
Right.
And honestly, I prefer knitting because I make beautiful things to give to friends.
Oh.
I also love gifting. Gifting is a huge part of it. I think being able to gift someone a handmade item is like priceless. But I also picked it up too because I like to keep my hands busy.
Yeah.
And if they're not busy, I'm getting into trouble. I'm picking at things, or I don't know, obsessing over what is under the stove when no one needs to know or see or care.
Right. Right.
So I need to keep myself busy. But I love a challenge. Like I will purposely pick like challenging things because if I'm not challenged, I feel like I'm wasting potential and I'm not learning and I'm not growing.
Right. You're not getting to that
I'm
point.
not getting to the next step. So that's why I went from crocheting to knitting, because crocheting was too easy. And I was like, what's next?
Right.
Yeah,
The
so-
next challenge.
I just love a challenge. And also the gift giving is a huge thing. I've made so many gifts for people and I just love that. I love that so much.
Thank you.
Initially, as I mentioned, it was out of necessity because it was cheaper. But now it's gift giving and mental health. and just doing. My hands need to keep busy.
Hands need to be keep busy. Okay.
Why do I craft? Just because it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun. Yeah, keeps my hands busy.
All right.
We were recently on a trip and I went like 5 days without having a needle in my hand.
Right. Like you need something.
And I finally told my husband, I'm sorry, I'm opening the stitching. I don't care if we're out of the country, I'm opening the stitching. So it's like, okay, even though I only put 10 stitches in, it's like, okay, I can do this now.
Right.
And then on the airplane coming home, it was the entire time. It's like, okay.
What are your favorite and least favorite aspects of being a crafter?
My favorite aspect is the art. It's the creating. It's finding interesting patterns. and sometimes changing them to fit my own mood or to fit my own aesthetic.
Right.
It's just the art of creation
Okay.
that
And your
brings me,
least favorite?
keeps me. My favorite thing to knit are shawls. And the thing that frustrates me the most are socks, even though I knit them constantly.
And what's your least favorite?
Oh, my least favorite thing to knit is socks.
Socks. Okay.
Which it drives me nuts, but I do it constantly.
Okay. Thank you.
Ooh, okay. My least, I'm gonna start with the least favorite.
Okay.
Being a perfectionist and seeing like, 10 rows down, you made a little imperfection.
Tiny mistake.
You made a little tiny mistake. And sometimes I am not okay with it. And I will undo like 10 rows of work just to fix that one teeny tiny little thing. So being a perfectionist or viewing things in that light is my least favorite, because then I go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing is, I don't know, I just love color.
Okay.
Like, I love scrap yarn aesthetic where it's just like a bunch of different colorful pieces of yarn. If they could make that into like a yarn ball pre-made, oh my god, I would make everything out of like the scrap yarn aesthetic. But I also really like making practical things that my house needs or I need.
Okay.
Like a
what?
pillow to hold at night when I sleep.
Oh, okay.
Or like a piece of decoration on the wall. You know, I don't know. I like making practical items, I guess.
Useful items.
Yeah,
Also
useful.
too, yeah?
Yeah, useful items. Yeah.
Favorite is finally finishing something.
Okay.
Most frustrating is maybe starting a complicated piece, particularly in knitting, because sometimes I have to rip it out a couple times
Okay.
for the foundation row. But no, I just enjoy it.
All right.
Just the process. I'm more of a process person. Probably half of everything that I have stitched is still sitting in a box under the bed or curled up somewhere, just stored, or it's been given away. I have very little that I've kept for me that has been finished.
Okay.
One of my favorite things that I did get finished, and I had a finisher do it for me, was Prairie Schooler Santas, which I'm sure the Prairie Schooler Santas that come out every year.
Yeah, they're very popular.
I did 4 years all on one piece of fabric, and my intention was to make them in a box, but I didn't leave enough space in between them. I only left like three or four threads. My friend was able to actually make them into this beautiful, beautiful box.
I would love to see that, because a lot of people love the
Prairie Schoolers.
Yeah, the Santas.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've seen trees full of them, and it's just amazing to see.
Yeah.
Already, did you say your least favorite?
Not figuring out what I'm supposed to be doing with it.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, because whenever you start a yarn project, you know in advance how you're going to do it. When you start a cross stitch project, you don't always know how you're going to finish it until the very end, if you even are going to finish it. So, to me, that's the difference of the craft.
Right, and to some extent, sometimes I don't. But my walls are kind of full. Yeah. So what am I going to do with it?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm kind of going to just put the last two questions in the same one, so you can just do one more round. So how do you stay inspired in your craft, and how do you stay current with techniques and new patterns and stuff like that? Like, what do you go to for that?
I stay inspired by searching out new designers, searching out new patterns. Ravelry is one of my favorite places to go for inspiration.
Yeah, for Ravelry.
And just go to the web and say interesting tea cozies and see what pops up. But yeah, the internet is where I get most of my inspiration. And I also do all of my patterns now online. I don't carry my patterns with me. So
okay.
So yeah.
Thank you. And I have one more question very quickly. Do you have any special item that you love that you cannot craft without?
My Chiago, if that's how you say it, knitting needles.
Okay.
They are sharp points, red cords.
Yeah.
They're great. Wonderful to knit with.
That's the one that I used to.
Me too. Okay. How I stay inspired, right? feel like my TikTok algorithm is a huge factor
Yeah.
in how I stay inspired. Because I'm learning like what all the knitting girlies are doing, what sweater is hot for winter, what
Right.
you know, what's hot for summer. YouTube, like the crafting vlogs, I love watching those, and then Pinterest for sure. But also meetups like this. Like this is seeing like other crafts. Like last month, her and I went and we saw so many people doing filet crochet.
Filet crochet?
Yes.
What is that?
See?
No clue what is a filet crochet.
I'll show you a photo. It looks so gorgeous and lacy, and it has a shape, like a pattern in it, an illustration from the lace. It's so beautiful. But little meetups like this is what teaches you that other things exist, or there's always a new thing out there.
Yeah.
And then one thing I can't live without.
What's your favorite item? Yeah, like something that you cannot. Yeah.
That is so hard.
What's your favorite item for your craft?
I want to say my iPad.
Your iPad?
Yeah, because I can put up my pattern on there.
Okay.
I can do a mood board, like a Pinterest mood board for like things I want to make. And then also watching content while I craft.
Right.
I am an iPad baby. So.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Keep you motivated, coming to things like this, just seeing, as knitting is my primary, just what everybody else is knitting, and other variations of other crafts. Item that I can't live without, scissors. I love my scissors, and I don't care what kind of scissors, I'm always looking for scissors.
Yeah. Your scissor collector?
Not necessarily, but I have crafting bags, and in it is a different project, different type of medium. And each bag has to come with its own supply, usually scissors and markers. You know, so it's grab and go.
Okay.
It's grab and go. Let's see. Yeah.
My favorite item, now that I'm older, I don't stitch without these glasses.
Magnifying glasses?
Yes, and I love them because there's 5 different.
Can I grab and show you? What's your favorite item? Yoko-san. I've never seen these in person.
I actually got those off of Amazon, and I have
on Amazon.
I have 2 pairs of these.
Okay, they seem very light.
These ones are very light. My other ones are a little heavier. These ones are rechargeable. The only drawback to that is when I'm using them a lot, the charge doesn't necessarily hold. Like it did not hold on a 6-hour plane front.
Like what is a lot? Like how many hours do you think?
I would like it to hold all day. At least 10 hours.
At least 10 hours. Okay.
But and then this part comes off, and you can just switch them out.
Oh, nice.
So if you needed a little bit more magnification, you have that option. So that's my. They're fine.
Oh, we can't get nothing falling.
Believe me, I've dropped these tons of times. And what was the?
What's your favorite item? That was your favorite item. How do you stay inspired?
How I stay inspired
and motivated?
Talking to my friends, being involved in Facebook group, being involved in a stitching group, and stitching get-togethers and retreats.
How many retreats do you have in the year? Like, do you schedule them, or you just like one at a time?
They're more one-offs. Because it's by registration only. Like StitchCon, you have to register ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then months in advance how long it's going to take you to get there.
Right.
So my big one is that I always try to go to is Dying to Stitch in Virginia Beach.
Okay.
That one's a really great one. But other than that, I just go probably quarterly. There's a Stitch In up at Little Creek Needleworks, and they have a community room in one of the grocery stores at Bueller's up there, and we just sit there for the day. And we're there from like 9 to 4. We just sit and stitch and talk, and that gives me a chance to catch up with my Pittsburgh peoples.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much. Well, I think that's all for my questions. I appreciate you all for actually answering, and y'all can find me in Mega Stitches. This is my YouTube channel. Mega Stitches, like MEGA, Mega, and then Stitches. And on YouTube, and you can find the little interview and the vlog there. Yeah. I'm very happy because I barely get to talk to people that actually craft unless I go to one of these events. So you know what I mean? Yeah.
I subscribe.
Thank you so much.
I think it's definitely time to get out. Ooh, yeah, because it's a little bit awkward to record in public, but I mean, I can't do too much about this. And we are heading to Barnes and Nobles because I just feel like it. So that's what we're gonna do. And I need a new journal, so. I like to take all the caramel out of the sides, and then you kind of suck it up like that. It's so delicious. There's a caramel frappe from Barnes, and hopefully we get to stitch a little bit, but I'm not quite sure if that's gonna happen. And yeah, it's so good. This one, and then this is Sarasa. And I just gotta say, I love this journal. Things that I like about this, it has a little thing where you can put the pen, like, yes please. Like that. It's cute. And then look at that. It's so pretty. Look at it. And look at the pages. Okay. This kind of like that looks like more of the true color. Oh my goodness, I love it. Like, look. So good, so good. And then, oh my god. This is the Hummingbird Sage Journal. And I love this cute little hummingbird there. Smells alright. This is the color pages, and compared to this one, you see how dark? I love this one. This is kind of like my favorite kind of color for my pages. It's not white, it's kind of like a very off-white. What color is this? It should have like a, I like ivory lined pages, okay? Yeah, I discovered that by touching all the journals that I could find today. So, but look how nice. It looks like a spray edge book. So good, so good. Love it. And this will be the pen for that. It's like a very dark green. And it's 0.5, my favorite gel pen.